Hi Libra, this is Lada from Astrolada.com with your August 2016 astrology update for anyone who has their ascendant Sun or Moon in the sign of Libra. And today we're shooting from the stunning Deception Pass in Washington State in Northwest Pacific of the United States. And I hope you enjoyed the views with me, the soothing energy of the water, the stunning views behind, and let's see what August will bring for you Libras. Let's start with the more difficult news, with the more difficult combinations that are forming this August in the sky. The two malefic planets, Mars and Saturn, are joining together in the sky. Almost the whole of August they'll be very close together, and both of them are extremely powerful still in August. Both of them are bright in the sky. Ancient astrology says that the planet is really strong when you can see it bright in the sky, just like Mars has been bright in the sky over the last 3-4 months and still continues to be, even though it's moving direct. And you see what's happening with the coup in Turkey, with the attacks in France, with Orlando. And Mars continues to be extremely powerful in August. And Mars is the planet of frustration, anger. It can create such situations, and joined by Saturn, another malefic, it kind of almost intensifies the frustration of Mars. So they're falling in your third house though, Libra. And third house can handle pretty well difficult planets. Third house from your ascendant, Sun or Moon. Because the third house is the house of difficulties, is the house where we do difficult things, like learning, is the house of skills, learning to sew, learning to sing, learning to dance, learning to use a software, learning a new language, anything which is requiring new skills, which is often very difficult thing to do, learning a new skill, is the third house. And when there are malefics like Saturn and Mars affecting it, it indicates that actually they can help you, motivate you to learn something hard that you've been postponing, that requires a lot of efforts, which is what Saturn is in the third house. Maybe some new skill, maybe some new software, maybe some starting on some new course that feels daunting and can feel a little bit overpowering initially. But Saturn gives you the perseverance to persist with the learning and acquiring of those skills and doing those difficult things, while Mars gives you the ambition and the drive, almost like, I'm gonna, overcome that. I'm gonna battle it to the ground. I'm gonna kick its ass, And basically it can be quite stimulating for learning new skills, for acquiring new mental or kind of hand skills of any type. But third house also rules travels, short travels. So you have to be careful, Libras, when you're doing some short travels to and through from work, or maybe short travels to 2-3 days holiday away or something like that, because the Mars and Saturn, the two malefic planets, can create some complications when it comes to some short travels. But Mars and Saturn together always make us work super hard at whatever house they are. So third house is our communications, is your communications, Libras. So Saturn and Mars, they can create the need to work very hard on some communications, the need to be cautious in communications with others. You might feel like communicating with others this month can be more of a more of a burden or more of a stressful situation, and especially with teammates, playmates, co-mates, co-workers, schoolmates, people that are in your everyday environment that you meet. This is the people from third house environment. Also, there might be some complications or some stresses in the life of siblings, or in your relationships with siblings, relatives, neighbors, or all those people you meet in your everyday environment, like friends that you go for coffee with, co-mates, co-workers, people that you associates of yours of some sort. So there can be escalation of tension in such relationships, or some problems that come in their life. But again, this transit will pass away by the end of August. So these problems should be resolved by that time. And actually Saturn and Mars were together already very close in your third house over the last few months, I think in the spring at some time. So maybe some issues that escalated then in regards to such people, in regards to communications, in regards to some documents, in regards to information, such issues that escalated will finally have the chance to get resolved, because this is the last time Saturn and Mars are together in your third house. But again, they will escalate, so you can deal with them with personal efforts and with the personal willpower, which is Saturn and Mars. And another thing is that third house, people that are in careers, if you're Libra in a career that has to do with third house matters, which is writing, speaking, advertising, marketing, lecturing, teaching skills, planning, management, organization, Anything administrative is third house. Documents, papers, communications, negotiations. Many people nowadays are in such careers, maybe possibly more than 70% in kind of third house careers. And if you're in such a career, Saturn and Mars will give you extra responsibilities, extra duties, some problem that you have to resolve, extra pressure. Maybe you're completing some projects that is about writing, speaking, managing, marketing, organizing, media. Third house rules media, if anyone is in media in some way. So it's going to be like there'll be pressure on you, there'll be some frustrations, but by the end of August this will be resolved, and hopefully you'd have solved a few problems and achieved better quality at whatever you're doing in regards to that work. But definitely the tension and the pressure in such areas, if you're a Libra and you're in such careers, intensifies. And even if you're not such careers, overall communication, social media, your emails, your phones, this is all third house. Make sure that you take care of them, that you don't lose them, they got stolen or get broken or get hacked into, because these are two malefic planets. They signify usually oppressors or kind of wrongdoers in some way. But that's in more extreme cases. Hopefully it will just manifest as some kind of in your communications, maybe some kind of having to discuss more serious topics, talk more in depth, and having to kind of defend your point of view, for example, which is Mars, because you might be challenged in your point of view in August by certain people, okay. And also it's good, as I said, for working very hard on your skills in some way and overcoming certain hurdle that was blocking you to achieving better skills in some way, or certain fear. And the good news is that the three benefics, Venus, Mercury and Jupiter, will be together in the sky, visible as well. So they'll be also strong to kind of balance out the negative influence of those powerful Mars and Saturn, which will be bright in the sky at night. You'll be able to see them, but also you'll be able to see Jupiter, Venus and Mercury after sunset, bright in the sky on the western horizon. So benefics will kind of battle it out with the malefics and try to mitigate the more negative influences of those malefics. And those negative influence of Saturn and Mars will affect very likely also your relationships with others, because Mars rules your 7th house, Libra, of relationships and partnerships. And Mars being with Saturn can frustrate those relationships in some way. Partners or relationships can become a source of burden, or a source of some duty, or a source of some kind of some work that has to be done, or some kind of challenge, or some kind of pressure that they put on you. But thankfully Venus, Jupiter and Mercury are balancing out, because they're also bright in the sky, they're not invisible. So Venus, Jupiter and Mercury are the planets of negotiation, forgiveness, understanding. Saturn and Mars are battle, frustration, demanding, forcing, But Jupiter and Venus and Mercury are in your 12th house for the whole of August, most of the August. So how you can overcome certain issues that come in your life now in August is through more behind the scenes actions. Not direct, because if you try to go direct and butt heads with people, Saturn and Mars are very strong. So there will be some arguments, there will be some frustrations, but you have to act with your benefics, and the benefics in your horoscope will be in the 12th house, which is the hidden house behind the surface, with more manipulative, subtle words, more manipulative charm, maybe more behind the scene activity, tweaking something behind the scene in some way. So this is your best way for action if you want to be on the side of the good planets and use the best, from them. Use the best of those good planets. And maybe you can even rely on invisible spirit guides, because the 12th house is the invisible world, on powerful intuitions that you can receive right now. Because when three benefics trigger your 12th house, it's like your the spirit guides and the other world and past loved ones from the other world try to instill thoughts into your head through your dreams, through symbols, through omens, through intuition, to send you messages. And they're guiding over you, they're protecting you. The 12th house is where our guardian angels are in the invisible world. Or if you don't believe in guardian angels, where our subconscious intuition is, which can help you out of a tough situation. So trust your gut now, Libras, this month. That is very important, and it will lead you to the right place. Trust your dreams as well. When you're receiving messages, if, say, a cat crosses your path, read on the internet what it means for a white cat to cross your path, or if an eagle flies over you, or something like that, because the universe will be talking to you through this 12th house where the benefics are trying to help you, give you advice intuitively. And the 12th house is also foreign country, so taking a holiday. The 12th house is when we escape from the mundane, the hustle and bustle, the duties and responsibilities of the world, to take a rest, to sleep, to take a break. So with 3 benefics there, it's going to be a good time for you to, for example, go on a long trip. There might be some complications with documents and travel because of Mars and Saturn in your 3rd house, but long-term trip, maybe going to exploring a different culture, taking a long trip somehow, which is a 12th house, connecting to foreign places, to international places, with people from international places as well, will be beneficial for you, and it can be a help of support, and it can help resolve issues in your life. Or if you're trying to sort out some papers and documents, you have to put, for example, for emigration, papers and documents is the 3rd house when Saturn and Mars, so you have to work very hard in that and put personal efforts. But the planets from the 12th house, Jupiter, Venus and Mercury, will help you actually get through and reach that faraway country that you're trying to. 12th house is also the house of expenses, but because it's 3 where we spend things, because it's a house like a well, you put things in and they disappear in the subconscious or into the universe. So some of you, when Jupiter, Mercury and Venus might be spending money on pleasurable things, like books, like fashion, Venus, like holidays or trips, on something on pleasures like good food, drinking. So these are kind of the things that we enjoy, that we find escape from reality, and you might be spending money on such pleasurable hobbies or activities, and this will not feel so much as spending, it will feel like rewarding yourself in some way. But also it's very secretive influence, Jupiter, Mercury and Venus, so there might be some support from hidden people that you're not aware of, that maybe are speaking something nice about you, that you're trying to help in some way without being aware, or maybe someone that does a charitable act towards you. But also those 3 planets in the 12th house will trigger your own charitable inclinations, and you feeling compassion towards others and trying to help them with words, with support, whether financial, emotional, or intellectual in any sort. And the 12th house is also secret affairs. So those of you who and bed pleasures, that's according to Vedic astrology. So when 3 benefics are in the 12th house, bed pleasures can improve. Well, you all know what bed pleasures are, private pleasures of some sort. So it can be good for the romantic and sensual life, you know, that feeds kind of your soul, you know, after a good morning, a good evening, you know, in private, bed pleasures, how we all feel like happy after that. So this can also intensify and bring some positive, those bed pleasures, those kind of the private sanctuary that you go to. It can be a great time for meditation, for going to sanctuaries, to ashrams, to spiritual practices as well, and receiving intuitive understandings about things and clarity. But it's almost like the 3rd and the 12th house are houses that prepare for a transition of some sort. And it's almost like August, it's time to research, to investigate. 3rd house is experimenting, researching with the mind. 12th house is also research behind the surface. So you might be like looking for alternatives, researching, receiving some information intuitively or through personal research, through books or communications. That is important for you into the future, and that can bring you more clarity in regards to the direction you want to head later on. It's kind of like a period of, you know, working it out and looking at different alternatives. So this is what I see for you, Libras. Thank you so much, and you're welcome to subscribe to my channel or follow me on Facebook. My Facebook is Astrolada, where I actually give free readings with me, where I announce my webinars, where I announce where I do articles, astrological, where I do a lot of, you know, short videos and short astrology updates and competitions for free reading with me, or one of my amazing psychics and astrologers who I've personally selected from around the world and constantly monitor their work, so the quality of their work is also guaranteed. So thank you so much, Libra.